Hello, welcome to the Fuck Fentanyl Podcast 2.0. I have my friend Summer here. One of my one of my one of my very first guests on my podcast, episode number 5 actually. Um she's actually one of my really really close friends as well. I met through creating my brand a couple years ago. And how you doing, Summer?
I'm doing well. I just want to say thank you for having me on, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here. A little nerve-wracking because I hate being on video, but
Video, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was different when you asked me to do the podcast. I came in sweats and no makeup,
Yeah, like whatever.
yeah,
Just rolled out of bed, like, okay.
but it's an honor to share my story and also to call you my friend. I'm really grateful for the relationship we've had and just to be a part of this, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, like, we pretty much said most of your backstory on the very first episode, but you wanna touch up on um, what got you to find me and all.
Yeah. So my sister had a beanie
Oh, yeah.
and I was like, that is sick because I am from Oregon, but fentanyl affects everyone everywhere. And, I've lost a few friends due to overdoses and um I moved out here about 2 years ago this month, actually. It's been 2 years
Really?
and in May 2023, one of my really close friends from high school passed away. And that's when I was like, I need a sweatshirt. I want to support this. And, I hit you up and you sent me a sweatshirt. And I only knew you as the fuck fentanyl guy, which I'm really grateful that we've become a lot closer. But, I'm down for the cause. I think what you do and bringing awareness, giving Narcan out, it's a really powerful thing. And yeah, it's just an honor. So I never thought I'd be this deep into it,
No.
being a
Right.
model,
Right.
being one of the people on one of the first podcasts,
Yeah.
and now doing the video podcast.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
We're in the first one too. I forgot about that for a little second. But that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I know. I remember I remember our first interactions that it was on Instagram. I have so many of them, so it's
Yeah.
really hard for me to keep track, especially if I haven't met somebody personally. And I met you at my Tuesday meeting.
Oh yeah.
And
I forgot.
oh yeah, yeah, and you kind of had like a lot of excitement and shit meeting me, and I was like, what the?
I know. I felt like I was meeting a star.
Yeah.
Well, because you're so big in the recovery community. I was so new. And I was like, this guy's so cool,
Wow.
And I still think you're cool,
Oh,
but,
thank you. I am cool. But I was just like, wow, yeah, this girl is like really excited to meet me. Like, she seems really nice, and um, I didn't even actually know your sister was your sister until a little bit later,
yeah.
and I thought that was I was like, oh, okay, that's really rad, and because I always thought she was really fucking cool, and
Yeah. I
and
want to get her on here, but
I know.
she's so shy compared to me.
Got you.
Sorry, Danielle.
But yeah, no, both of you two are like one of my really close friends, and it's pretty awesome. That it's like one of those things I really appreciate about my brand. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of fun doing what I do, but there are some things that really are very meaningful.
Yeah.
Because I started this thing came from a really dark period in my life.
Yeah.
I lost my best friend to an overdose and like 3 years ago, and I just was just making some t-shirts and threw some stickers out there, and I didn't think anything of it, and then when it started to you know blow up, I even made that Instagram as a joke. The fuck, I didn't think that was gonna be popular. I thought it was gonna be like 10 follows or some shit, and like, okay, I'll have a picture there, and yeah, so like all that, like, it was just really unexpected, and
And now you're in different states, and
yeah.
maybe even different countries.
Oh yeah, different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
So cool.
quite a few, Canada, France, uh I'm like drawing a blank here. Germany, like
Whoa.
yeah, all these.
It's crazy how fentanyl can impact so many different wide
Absolutely.
ranges of communities and people all across the world. It's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I think it's really important to like bring awareness, and also not only just like about fentanyl, but like preventative measures. Like I know you like stay strapped with Narcan and
Yeah,
you pass it out and
yeah,
like you educate people on how to like administer that and
yeah.
you know, like they say, like it's like we don't condone the use, but we also don't condone dying.
Right.
And
Oh
so
yeah.
I think that's really important thing because the reality is it's like not everybody wants to stop, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
I think until it takes what it takes for people to like come to terms with the fact that normal people don't recreationally use fentanyl.
Fuck, really?
No.
Damn.
And it's so weird too cuz like I was not like a fentanyl user by choice,
By choice.
you know? I didn't really do downers or anything. I was definitely like an uppers person, but like it's so intertwined with all the drugs that are being passed around nowadays. It's like in everything. And like when I went to detox and I tested positive for it, it like scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like
Fuck. I can imagine.
I just thought like, the drug I was doing wasn't as good as it used to be when I was younger, but
Right.
now I realize like it's because it had fentanyl in it. And I'm sure I've done a lot of other stuff that had it in it too. And I'm just grateful I didn't die. And like I have this opportunity to like also spread awareness and tell people that there is hope. Like no matter how far down the scale people have gone and how deep their like rock bottom is, it's like you can stop taking.
Yeah, absolutely. I and I just kind of wanted to touch up on that. Uh, you know, you kind of the whole, when people are not, ready to finish and stuff like that. It is kind of a hard thing for me personally because a lot of my friends are, still in their active addiction, like the ones I grew up with,
Yeah.
you know, or they're, and it's kind of like I'm just happy, like they're still alive, but you kind of are just like you're waiting for the call,
Yeah.
when they're gonna go, and like even like my uncle, who was a meth user, he passed away from an overdose. It was never a thing before,
Right.
and it's really hard, to see that, and but I'm really glad that if like if even like one thing a Narcan or like or just a simple like hey checking in on somebody, if that does anything, to one person, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I know like my best friend Talitha, she was like in the rooms for a while and then she left for a little bit and then she said that like one of the things that kept her kind of tied to it was Rigel kept like reaching out,
oh yeah,
like even though he knew that she was out there, like
right.
still checking in or like sending like the daily reflection or
Oh yeah,
and like
send that shit to me too.
yeah.
I never
He doesn't do it to me anymore. I don't know if he's probably taking a break.
because we don't respond.
Sometimes I did. But it's like the little things like people reaching out and you never know what you're going to say or who you're going to impact by just
Right,
being honest about like the journey that you're on.
right,
And I think it's really cool that you are very transparent about your journey and like if people want to help, like they know that they can reach out and like I have a lot of friends that still use or drink and like a lot some of them can do it normally or they're functioning, and some of them I hope that they know that there will be a seat for them if they do decide to like take the recovery journey, but it's like you can say whatever you want to anyone till you're like blue in the face, but until they really want it and they have that willingness, it's like it's not going to happen. Cuz that was me for a long time, like
oh yeah,
so many people, my family, like they were worried and like they wanted me to get help, but like I said, it takes what it takes.
yeah, absolutely. That's the same case for me. It was like I had the interventions and I had the, those heart to heart talks. I remember, like, even, like, one of my uncles was giving me a ride to the outpatient, and I was still strung out, and he's like, "What are you doing, man?" You know, and he said that it's almost better if I was just, dead, because at least they'll know. You know, I was
Tough
like,
love.
"Well, thanks for the ride, man."
Yeah, you're like, "I'm out."
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I was, like, so, like, hypnotized
Yeah.
and so, like, into it, and just in it, and it was my life, and it was everything to me,
Right.
you know, and it took, like, like, a lot of consequences, and
Mhm.
I forced sobriety from being in jail and being forced to go to rehab. Well, not for I chose to go to rehab, I could've stayed in jail longer, but it was just, like, all these little things that just kinda added up and to where I reached the breaking point, and I was
Yeah.
I'm done,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
And you got it, I mean, relatively young, you know?
Yeah, I never really thought about it that way, that's the funny part.
Yeah.
I felt like I was at well, I was, like, 22, and I felt like I lived long enough.
You lived hard.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you did a lot in that time
Yeah.
span.
Yeah. I even, like, at, just, like, my last year, I felt like it could be a book. Every day it was just some new drama, new this, new
Yeah.
that, like, you know.
Everything felt, for me at least, like such a big deal, and like the world was always like the sky was falling, my world was ending, and it
Right,
was just like
right.
I was so dramatic, you know? Like everything was a big deal.
Right.
And I don't feel like anything's that big of a deal today. And like I used to say, "Oh, it's like a blessing and a curse to feel everything so deeply," because I'm just naturally like an empathetic person, but now being completely sober and feeling everything, I think of it more as like a blessing than a curse. Like life's not always fucking easy or like
Not
no, or like sunshine and rainbows, but it's
no.
definitely better than it was, you know?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
it's like, I don't know.
No, absolutely. So, how's, your life been after the podcast we did, like, almost a year ago? Or over a year ago, actually.
Yeah, I think it was like a year ago.
Oh, really? Has it been 1 year?
I think so.
Fuck. I gotta look at the dates.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong, but I think it
Close
was
to it,
yeah,
at least.
because I think it was like around when I took like 9 months or something.
Okay.
I don't think I had a year yet.
Yeah, you were under a year for sure.
And yeah.
You're still in the sober living?
Yeah. So I was in sober living and then I don't know if I should talk about it, but I left sober living
Yeah.
and I moved in with the guy I was dating, and it lasted less than 3 weeks at his house
Oh,
because it just I realized I don't need drugs or alcohol to make bad decisions. I'm still, like, self-centered by nature and,
right.
you know, I, uh I'm grateful for that experience because it pushed me out of sober living and,
Yeah, sure.
taught me a lot of valuable lessons. And then I lived in an apartment with 2 other sober people
Uh,
who I met in the rooms, and I wouldn't have had that opportunity had I not met people through the program, you know? Like, I knew that one of my other friends was, like, living with his girlfriend, but still paying rent at this apartment, and he wanted someone to take over his lease.
okay.
So, I moved in there pretty quickly, and, it was great. I lived there for almost, like, 10 months, and, just to, like, save money, I just recently moved again in with my sister, and
Nice.
yeah, it's a big adjustment, but, like, I'm just grateful, like, now my family wants me around, and they
Right.
trust me,
Yeah.
to be around and not, like, go and be a degenerate again, and, it's not like it's not a possibility, like, that's always a possibility for any of us, but they, like, have faith in me and believe in me. I've been able to hold down a job for over a year.
Right.
Yeah, I got my car back from Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
I'm licensed, I'm insured, my insurance is through the roof because of the DUI I had, but,
Oh, god.
like, I'm able to pay for it, you know?
Right.
Um, life's gotten, like, pretty good, but, like, I still go to meetings at least, like, 4 times a week.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty
I have
awesome.
my, like, set meetings that I don't miss every week where, like, people will hit me up if I don't show up, but then I also, like, part of the reason why I decided to stay in San Diego is because of how big the like recovery community is in San Diego, and there's so many meetings to choose from. I love like going to meetings and not knowing anyone, and meeting new people, and my sponsor suggested going to more women's meetings, and like I've been trying to do that too, and
Right.
doing like H&I when people ask and
Yeah.
reach out, and like it's been good,
That's awesome.
like recently I've been dealing with a lot of stuff with my mom because she is sick. A few months ago she had a heart attack, and like
That's right.
things like progressively have gotten a little bit worse for her, but
Yeah.
through that experience she started going to meetings again. And I'm really proud of her because like she told me when I went up to visit Oregon for a couple days that she was like, I'm a dry drunk, I'm miserable, and I was like,
Damn.
there's a solution,
Right.
I was like, and it's so weird how the tables turned, but like I think through me embarking on this journey and
Yeah.
and staying sober and them seeing that change in me, like
Right.
it's just like it sparks interest in other people. And it's like I know she knows because she's been my mom and dad met in an AA meeting,
Yeah, I know.
and,
Sped and
and it's like I know she knows what to do, but again, it comes down to that willingness. Like, are you willing to do whatever it takes to like stop being physically, mentally, and spiritually sick? Not everyone's up for the game
Yeah.
of recovery.
Right, right.
People, because it takes a lot of work.
Absolutely.
It's not easy. It's the hardest thing I've ever really tried to do.
Much easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Summer, how long have you been sober now?
My sobriety date is July 7th, 2023. So almost 2 years.
2 years?
No fronts though.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have the applause button no more. And fucking, that's awesome.
Thank
Fucking
you.
proud of you.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like my birthday is July 3rd and my sobriety day is
Oh,
July 7th. And I'm like more excited for my sobriety
sobriety
birthday than
day?
yeah.
That's funny. Mine is like that too. My sobriety date's on the 5th, and then my birthday is the 25th of March.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just passed, remember?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I always look forward to the 5th.
Yeah.
Like the 25th just makes me a little depressed, and I'm getting older. How am I still alive? And I'm in my 30s.
I know. I used to think 30 was so old. And now I'm like, we're still so young. There's so much more life ahead of us.
I think so. I actually had more fun in my 30s than I did in my 20s.
Yeah.
In my 20s, I was kind of a shit show, even though I was sober.
Yeah.
Like, you were touching up about the sober living thing. I was in sober living for like 2 months, and I left in a really cowardly way. Like, I literally just like found a room to rent, and instead of like saying anything like to the manager of the sober living, I just like packed all my shit and fucking left when nobody was around.
Oh my God.
They totally thought I fucking relapsed.
Yeah.
But my buddy, who I lived with, I was living in the South Bay Pioneers, and there's like a big long room.
Mhm.
So the guy that was sleeping in the bed next to me, I mean, he pretty much was sleeping next to me. I mean, the rooms between us were very small. So I moved in with his wife while he was still at the Pioneers.
Oh, cool.
So he knew, like, so we had already planned it out, and so he knew I was sober and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do good, but
Can he trust you with his wife?
yeah, I didn't do nothing. I swear, Robert. Yeah, no, yeah, it was cool. I lived with them for like 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
and then I eventually got my own apartment shortly after that.
Where you're at now?
Yeah, where I'm at right now. Thanks to
It's a sick
COVID.
little spot.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like it.
And it's like where I grew up too.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I don't know, for some reason I just feel like I'm in my roots, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps me level.
Is it ever hard to be where your stomping grounds were?
Is that ever what?
Is it like hard to be where you used and stuff?
Oh, my first year, it was really hard.
Yeah.
Maybe even my second year too. I predominantly used in National City.
Mm.
So when I would take the bus, the 929, every bus stop, I literally have used. around that perimeter, and it was like the fucking bus ride of hell for me.
Yeah.
And it was a little weird coming back home too, because I was like, I'm never coming back,
Yeah.
in my first when I was at the Freedom Ranch, I was like, I'm not coming back. Fuck Chula Vista.
Where did you wanna go?
I don't know. Just not back there.
Yeah,
Um
I feel that.
I was I wanted to stay in San Diego still, but I really didn't have a set plan. And then when they um kinda were transitioning me out of residential into the sober living is literally the South Bay Pioneers is literally like a block away from when I first started using.
Yeah. I've been to meetings there.
Yeah. So up the hill, my best friend lived there, uh, for pretty much his whole life, and that's pretty much where I started using heroin and stuff like that. I even had, like, a few connects down the hill too, and, so when I was at the Pioneers, it was a little hard.
Yeah.
And, Phil was actually trying to get into the Pioneers too. He had relapsed again, and, he was, on heroin, and he was trying to get in there, but he couldn't test clean. And, the Pioneers is pretty traditional, but
Mm,
you gotta be fully sober. So, he just couldn't stay, clean in that area, and he would have to go to different cities and stuff like that
yeah.
until he eventually passed away. So, and it's
That was your best friend?
yeah, yeah. We
That's what
started
sparked this all?
Yeah, yeah. He was my first friend in high school. We started smoking weed together, and then, like, we started doing other drugs together, and then his brother died, and that kinda, I think, put him in a little bit of depression. And then, he was, his neighbors were all on the heroin and stuff like that. And then, we were hanging out, and then, he, like, pretty much, I knew who the guy was that gave it to him, but he pretty much said, "Hey, I picked up this stuff from this guy." And then I was like, "Ooh," like, I had already been around it.
Mhm.
I'd seen enough where I'm like, I'm not good," but I gave in to peer pressure. And then we did heroin together, and then we carried each other's weight through it, our addiction for, like, 3, like, the first, yeah, 3 years, 4 years. And then oh, no, man, no, like, the entire time, actually. And then, he got clean before me, went to a program. I went to jail. And then by the time I got out of my treatment center, he was already strung out again. Yeah,
It's a vicious cycle.
yeah, the vicious cycle. He tried smoking weed and drinking.
Mhm.
Like, that's how he kinda always goes back to it too. "I'm just gonna smoke weed and drink,
Yeah.
I wanna be normal,"
Yeah.
and then, yeah, goes right back to it. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad because, like, my sister, she started, like, trying to get into recovery before she was 21, and I remember she, like, called me and I was still living in Oregon, and she was like, "Do you think I can just smoke weed?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, about like, even though I grew up going to meetings and
Right.
I until you, like, really experience it and understand, like, the disease, I don't think you know. Like, and I kind of feel bad that I was like, "Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, you can totally do that."
Yeah, sure.
Because, a lot of the first she was, like, 16 and she was visiting me in Oregon, and like, a lot of the first time she did certain substances were with me,
Oh, yeah.
and, like, I know she looked up to me a lot and, like,
You're the
you kn
kid sister.
I wish that I had been a better example, but
Right.
now even though she's my little sister, she's, like, my big sister in recovery, and,
Yeah.
like, she really inspired me to, like, get better,
That's awesome.
you know?
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kinda got into a similar situation with, one of my uncles. Um, he actually never really hit, like, any serious bottoms besides health problems.
Mhm.
And, his brother's my dad,
Oh, okay.
and my dad died very young. And so I remember, seeing my uncle, like, this maybe, like, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And he looked like in bad shape, and he was acting like he was on meth,
Mm.
but he only drinks.
Really?
Yeah, he only uses,
Is he in like a psychosis?
but he was going to yes, like paranoia, like he was kind of like what do you call it, reclusive. Like he never left his house, and he was trying to run a business too, by the way. So it was like I kind of saw
Yeah.
like where it was heading, but you know, he handles business better than I do, so I never really said anything. I don't think I was in the place to.
Yeah.
So I was sober for a minute. I think in 2017 I was like probably 3 years sober or 4 years sober. But um, when I would look at him though, like his physical state, I was like, ooh man, like he's gonna be joining my dad, you know?
Yeah.
It was really hard.
And did he pass eventually?
My uncle actually got sober.
Oh, he's the one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's
I
so cool.
somewhat inspired him
Yeah.
to get sober, but you know, he does it his own way still, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, happy that, you know, he isn't living like that and didn't end up,
Yeah.
dead over it.
Yeah, I think the way that like 12-step recovery is set up might not be for everybody, you know?
For sure.
But I mean, it's like a tried and true design of living that like has worked for so many people. It's like, why not give it a shot? And like they say, like if it doesn't work out, like you can always go back to what you were doing, you know? But
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
give yourself that shot just to like see. But I
Absolutely.
know that there's like a lot of different avenues and also a lot of resources, especially here in San Diego,
Yeah.
like, you know, and good for him. Like
Yeah.
steps in the right direction are better than going in the wrong direction, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm all for it. Like I personally don't really, you know, give a fuck
Mhm.
if somebody chooses to live as, you know, a similar path to me or the exact same path to me. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
it works for you. You know,
Yeah.
I definitely not perfect, and I definitely have made a lot of mistakes throughout sobriety, and I just keep choosing the path that
Wait, you're not perfect?
I'm not. And no, I'm not fucking perfect, Summer.
God damn it.
What a fucking bummer. And
Crazy.
I know. I I made a lot of stupid decisions, man. I mean, I don't really want to embarrass myself by this.
Come on. I listed a really dumb mistake that I did, so you have to.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've definitely gone to the casino and just like do. Or, you know, fell in love with a girl who like fucking was using me,
Mm.
or like fucking just often did spontaneous stuff for no fucking reason other than I'm just like unhappy with myself, and like, you know, stuff like that. Um and you know, I always will tell on myself that, you know, even though I'm 12 years sober, I didn't run a program for
Yeah.
a good while of my sobriety. I just kind of, you know, dialed it in.
Yeah.
I I definitely I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
It's just something I did. And I think it was a learning lesson in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I definitely was at a point, like, right after I hit a year, after all that shit happened with
Right.
that guy, like,
Yeah.
I wasn't really doing anything to enrich my, like, spiritualness. I wasn't doing steps. I wasn't really, like, working with my sponsor, and I was, like, one night, I was, like, about to gaslight myself into drinking. I was like, "Well, it says in the book if you're not convinced to
Oh,
go
yeah.
try some controlled drinking."
Right.
I was like, "I'm not convinced." And then, like,
Not convinced.
I tried to call some people to co-sign my bullshit, nobody would, and the next thing I know, I was, like, crying, praying, and, like, I ended up at a meeting, actually, the Saturday meeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why that meeting's, like, special to me, but,
Yeah.
like and I'm not, like, you know, religious or I don't really believe in, like, monotheism, but, like,
Yeah.
if I didn't get, like, to the point where I was in tears and, like, send a prayer to the universe, like, I don't know if I would have been able to stay sober that night. Like, I feel really grateful for the spirituality that I've gained through
Abs-
being sober, and it's, like, it's really changed my life.
Absolutely.
Like, it's enriched it, and I'm really grateful, like, I didn't pick up, because who knows where I would be now.
Right. No, absolutely. It's just like that one, six that one,
Yeah.
and it's all over.
Yeah, my alcoholism takes me behind dumpsters smoking God knows what with homeless people who are like,
Yeah.
"Have you ever heard of AA?" And I'm like, "Fuck you."
Oh my God.
Like, I am a shit show. And, like, the person you see now, like, I'm pretty happy most of the time. I genuinely care, and I feel like now, like, through this journey, like, I've become the person that I was always intended to be. But, like, I was not nice. Like, I had an alter ego, like,
Really?
Jekyll and Hyde shit, like
Really?
yeah, my family called me Priscilla when I blacked out because I was
Priscilla?
so mean, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah.
whole name and everything.
Yeah, and, like, people didn't wanna be around me, and now, like, it's different, and people
Oh yeah.
can rely on me, like, I'm going through some shit, and I honestly, like, I was excited to do this, but, like, there was a thought in my mind, like, "Ugh, I don't wanna do this 'cause I'm not having a great, week or whatever," but, like, people can count on me now. When I say I'm gonna do something or I'm gonna be somewhere, like,
Yeah,
I show up,
absolutely.
and I don't wanna go back to being, like, an unreliable, degenerate shit fuck that's just out there only caring about themselves,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I know. I'm very familiar with what's going on
Yeah.
with your life, and I did I had that thought too, where I'm like I hope that she can fucking still make this thing happen. But you are someone of your word, and like, and one of the reasons why I really wanted you on here is you're just a real genuine down to earth person. Like,
Thank you.
there's so many people that are just so fucking full of it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor too, cause like, I know so many people want to be on your fucking
I know.
podcast, you know?
Get hit up all the time. Put me up now. And
And it is an honor,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But
But I want to put people that um actually I really look up to, and people that I personally think have something to offer.
hmm,
Not just somebody that could talk a big fucking game.
yeah,
Just
that is a big thing, I feel like, and it's like
yeah,
a dick sizing contest or like whose
yeah.
recovery's better, but like, it doesn't matter what the hell you
It
say.
don't matter.
It's what you do when you're outside, in
Absolutely.
the real world or whatever,
No,
It's
no,
like
I agree. And most of them have less time than me. I'm just playing. That was a joke. That's
Well, I don't feel like recovery is just based on
oh,
time,
it's
but it
bullshit.
does I mean,
Well,
dry time is still good and it counts, but, like, when you're not being, like, spiritually fit or, like, living by the principles that we learn, it's like,
uh,
why are you here?"
yeah, why yeah, yeah. I know. I feel that way.
But you're also a person that I can rely on and that, like, when you say you're gonna be somewhere or do something, you do it.
Yeah.
Like, the other night when you showed up and you, protected me from the mosh pit, like, that meant a lot.
That's
'Cause I
awesome.
wouldn't have gotten near that pit if you weren't there, like, that was
I've been boo-bopped in the
fun.
mosh pit,
Oh
so
my god, no. But it's fun that, like, we have, like, a group of people that will come together and do stuff like that as a sober group and, like, lots of young people and,
yeah.
like, we still have fun and
That was one thing I really loved about, coming back to the rooms, because when I first got introduced to the rooms, it was kind of like, I don't know if you ever been to the South Bay Pioneers, but
yeah.
it's a bunch of old, puffy,
Yeah.
old fucking people.
Yeah.
One of them's my sponsor, who I love,
Yeah.
absolutely love. But so it was just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the meeting, and then
Yeah.
it felt almost a little like church kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so when I started coming back, I see all these people that are like do fun stuff, fellowshipping stuff, like what we did last week. It's really rad, like,
Yeah.
and it's a special type of, like, bond. I think we can have with each other outside of attending a meeting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a little bit more of that attraction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love like being clean and sober and being able to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because when I was strung out, I didn't do anything fucking cool.
Yeah.
Everything I did when I was strung out was like just degrading, and like even what seemed like it was like, the highlights, like, being a middleman drug dealer or being a thief that never got caught, or stupid shit that I used to love doing. I it meant nothing to me, honestly.
Yeah.
you know and when I got clean and started coming back, I just appreciate, having like genuine quality time with my friends, and even though it was like my family too.
Mhm.
I feel like it's a little bit, even if it's just a simple like a dinner, or simple like just like visiting, like my grandparents or something like that. Like that stuff actually means something to me now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, just I don't try to just dial in life, because I've done that several for a long time.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. It's an experience that we would have missed had we just continued down the path.
right.
And like it's so crazy because now that I'm a little more removed from all that, it was like it was so ingrained in my life. Like everything I did revolved around getting fucked up in one form or another. Like I couldn't even like wake up and like eat food if I didn't at least smoke weed or something, you know? Like
Oh fuck.
and I vowed when I was like 14 when I started smoking regularly, I was like, I'm gonna smoke weed till the day I die.
Yeah.
You know? And like it was such a big part of my personality and
Sure.
the culture of people that I like hung out with
Yeah.
and now I don't really even think about it. Like sometimes like some people in my life smoke weed and I don't care if they smoke around me. I like the smell of it. I'm from Oregon. Like
Yeah.
it's everywhere.
That's the smell of Oregon.
I'm like that's reminds me of home, but like I don't need to participate in that,
Yeah.
to like be myself. And I feel like I'm more authentic now than I ever was, but it was like uncomfortable at first because I didn't know who I was and I didn't know like what I liked or what I didn't like. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it's fun to like go and do stuff and not like, cause like alcohol too was such a big part of everything I did. Like if I wasn't able to drink or whatever, like I almost didn't do stuff.
Yeah.
It's so weird now looking back, you know?
And it's just like all over too. It just
Yeah.
feels normal.
Yeah. It's crazy because it's like one of the like out of everything that I ever did, like that was the one that turned the most like insidious and like, I should have probably gone to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's like they were like, "You're gonna have a seizure. You need to wean off." And I was like,
Damn.
"Yeah, I didn't know like alcohol could do that to you."
Right. That it's like actually one of the most deadliest drugs.
Yeah. It's crazy.
No, absolutely. I uh I never really got super deep into alcohol. Like,
You're like, "No, just heroin, please."
yeah. Just heroin, I do that. Heroin was actually I had such a identity crisis that um my my nickname was heroin.
Really?
Yeah, but in a slang term.
Mm.
So it was like, it meant everything to me. Like this is what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be a fucking junkie for the rest of my
Mhm.
fucking life. And I got the name because I always just had it, and my is this all it was like my girlfriend, like
Mhm.
I didn't need anything else.
Right?
And then the fucking police fucking just stripped that under me. And
What did you actually go to jail for?
oh, that's a good question. I've been accused of many, many things, but the only thing that they fucking allegedly, the only thing I've only been arrested for are 4 heroin possessions.
Oh.
And
Hell yeah, that'll do it.
well, it's the funny part too about it is that this all transpired in the fourth one was in 2013, so the laws were still felonies. So they carried a 16-3 sentence. So when I was in trial, because I decided to go to trial because I'm very smart, I think I could talk my way out of this. Um, I and I'm very guilty. By the way, they got the dope. But
It's like, that's all mine.
yes. So I went to trial, and the judge was like, "I'm giving you 4 years," and that's the start
Oh
conversation.
my
And
God.
I was so like egotistical and defiant. I was like, "Fuck it, man, give it to me then. I'll fucking if you're gonna fuck me, then you're gonna pay for this trial." And when I was in jail, I was like, I wasn't sober very long, maybe like a couple months. The lawyers were calling me legally insane. They're like,
What?
"Oh, you should be on medication," or like, yeah, like, yeah, it was a whole thing. They said that the drug assessor like talked to me, and he's like, "Oh, I heard you were trouble," and like all this drama. And then but what really did it was that, I was in Bailey, and I was just talking to my rep, and I we were in the tables and stuff, and he was asking me what's going on with my court, and I'm like, "Well, I'm going to trial, and I'm gonna do 4 years probably, but fuck them." And I'm just gonna do my time.
Like,
I'm tired of probation.
in prison?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah, it's a term.
Mm.
They just add them all up together. Um, I think AB 109 might have been affected, so I could have just done it in county. I can't. I think that's what was gonna go down. But regardless, it's a prison term.
Jeez.
So yeah, I told my rep, like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Fuck them. I'm gonna make them pay, and
Pretty
financially.
sure you would have to pay that when you got out.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
That's really the case.
restitution.
That's
Like,
but me being a deadbeat, I'm
yeah,
just gonna.
you're like,
I'm not gonna have no job.
yeah.
You're not gonna get nothing out of me. So yeah, and my rep, he's been in and out of prison all his life. He was in his mid-40s. I actually thought he was kind of a loser, to be honest. But because I'm a big heroin elitist. His drug of choice is alcohol
Mm.
and meth, and I was like, oh yeah,
Oh,
I'm
do you think less of me? Because
Yeah.
I didn't really
Yeah.
guess.
So
Rude.
he just told me like, no, you are not gonna go to trial. You're gonna go to rehab. Kind of like a little bit of a what is that strong, like a strong suggestion. And I and he's like, you don't want to do 4 years. And I was like, fuck, all right, whatever. And so the deal I had to sign was a county year, 3 years probation, mandatory rehab, and I had to pay like up to 20,000.
So you did a year?
Well, it actually, that was the cool part about it. They let me out early because they shot me to rehab
Oh.
directly from jail. I could have stayed in jail the whole time, but and I actually was so comfortable. I actually was gonna stay in jail, and my cellie told me like, no, you call the drug assessor, and I'm like, okay.
Mm.
And they shot me to the Freedom Ranch, and I was like, oh, and I was like, it's in Campo. Wait, what the fuck is Campo? I never heard of that city. And I had to look at the newspaper, and I'm like, oh, it's all the way over. What the fuck, dude? In the mountains, and I grew up in Chula Vista.
Yeah.
And I'm used to seeing like the ocean and the breeze. And
How long were you there?
8 months. Yeah.
Damn. Did you meet anyone there that you still know today?
Yes. Actually, funny enough, literally the first person I saw at the Freedom Ranch was my old heroin connect. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Well, good for him.
He passed away.
Oh.
But I didn't know.
From an overdose?
No, he was murdered in a trap house. No.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, but
See, that's what we have to look forward to if we're out there being like that.
right.
Fuck.
And but there are a few people who I stay in touch with since I from the Freedom Ranch. Not a whole lot of us are still sober. It's a small group. My buddy Chris was sober for a good while. He had recently just went back out, and he's trying to get back into the recovery thing. There's I think like maybe like 2 or 3 of us left. And technically, when I was at the Pioneers, I was at the Pioneers with my sponsor. He was a volunteer staff at the time, and he's still sober. So, I
He's
mean,
been
there
sober for
are
like 30 plus years, right?
no, Rick is 12 or no, 13. He's
Oh.
13 years.
Oh, okay.
My grant sponsor is 55 years sober.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How old was he when he got sober? Like 12?
I think he was in his 20s.
Oh, wow.
Dan's an older man.
Good for him.
Yeah, shout out Dan Duffy. He's awesome. He's like the nicest guy ever.
Didn't you meet Rigel there?
I met Rigel at Crash.
Oh,
We
not affiliated with
no,
fentanyl.
not really does. Yeah, Rigel and me were at Crash, and we both were actually kind of like failures of that program. He got he got kicked out. He got kicked out for sex playing, and then
What?
yeah, not like it. Look, it sounds way worse than it is. He like inappropriately touched a guy, like
Oh,
like this.
like how Rigel does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's his dumb shit that he does all the time. He did that at rehab, and that was like the final straw.
Oh my God.
Rigel, pack your shit. And then I hit 93 days. Oh, this is another cowardly story of mine. But I had 93 days, and I was done with the place, dude. So I went to court. I went with this big dude from East Side, San Diego, and I just was like, please, God, just let me out of this fucking place. I went to the court, and I kind of did some sneaky shit where I was saying I was enrolled in an outpatient program, but I really wasn't enrolled in an outpatient program. And I showed it to my public defender, and they're like, okay, cool, you're good to go. So I was like, fuck yeah, I don't have to be a crash anymore.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to like go back to the program, and I just told the guy that came with me, just go back to it. Tell him I left you, and I went right back. I just left.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Well, I heard that's a hard program to get through.
yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I'm not proud of what I did. I mean, it's just it is what it is. I relapsed like immediately after, and then Rigel, I guess he said that he was clean for a little bit, and then he relapsed too. I got clean in 2013. He got clean in I think 15. Just hit 10 years.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, so it's funny that we both met there, and then we both went to another rehab, and we both got sober at that rehab.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
The same one?
Same one. Yeah.
Whoa.
Just 2 years apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rigel was at the Freedom Match with Phil too.
Okay, that's
Yes,
what I
they
thought.
met each other.
Okay, because I thought that you guys had met there, but
No, yeah, no. We known each other since like 13 years almost. It's crazy. He was a little more like he was a character. Like I'm surprised he lasted even as long as he did at Crash, to be honest. So I'm really proud of that dude. Like I low key, like I get so happy when I see him because he knows like two guys I grew up with that I really loved and I respected. Obviously Phil was one of them, and then there's another one, Justin, who was the success story of Crash. He was clean for years after he left there, and then he died of an overdose in 2019. I kind of looking back at it, I don't know if Fetty was involved because it was kind of like around that time where it was starting to get laced in heroin. But he passed away, and so Rigel knows these guys who I grew up with, and so when I see Rigel, I get really like excited, that he's still doing it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're survivors, and yeah,
Of this like epidemic.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that guy. Shout out Rigel.
Rigel. He told me he doesn't watch this shit, but
Really?
no, yeah, not even his own.
Oh.
But I love that dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I got to meet some really fucking amazing people, man. Throughout like my recovery journey. I don't have like a whole big squad of. I mean, it may appear I have a big squad, but like the friends that are near and dear to my heart is really it's a select few, and and I'm really grateful that I was able to build real genuine friendships throughout my recovery,
Yeah.
because I always felt like when I was growing up that I only got that with people with drugs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
genuine people that don't really need or want anything from you except to like see you succeed and be happy and not fuck up anymore. Yeah. It's meaningful.
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
What are your plans for the future, Summer?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Right now, that's a loaded question because of some of the personal stuff that I'm
Sure.
going through. But I definitely want to stay on this path of like continuing to heal because I don't think it's ever like there's no destination that you arrive at. It's the journey itself that is like the experience, and I just want to continue to get better and yeah, I don't know where life's gonna take me necessarily, but I hope that I can take everything that I've learned from everybody. I hope I can take everything that I've learned from everybody here, and if I do decide to go elsewhere or whatever, like take that piece of me and the knowledge that I've like acquired and share it with other people. But for now, I'm happy here. I love San Diego, and like honestly, like the day that I went into detox, I had a plane ticket to go back to Oregon.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a God shot, definitely telling me to like stay put for a while. And it's been working, and my life is definitely continuing to get better. And so I don't really want to like shake things up. But I want to continue in my career. I want to keep progressing and moving forward in that sense. I hope that like I get married and I have a bunch of dogs. And I've been playing the lottery, hoping I can maybe buy a house here someday, but
Yeah.
I haven't won yet. But if I do, you'll be involved in all that because we'll make like a fuck fentanyl sober living.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
But I try not to future trip too much, but kind of take it day by day.
Right.
But I also do want to like hone in like on this going into my 3rd year of sobriety. Like I want to set goals and achieve them, and like yeah, that's a good question because I don't really know.
No. That's good.
But
I honestly don't have an answer for my own question.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see anything I'm doing coming
Yeah.
at all. I don't.
But you're doing a lot,
Yeah.
working in recovery. Other avenues have opened up for you too. And
Sure.
like I said, we're young. Like the possibilities are endless.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot of work. Just like recovery, anything in life that's worthwhile is gonna take effort and work and
Yeah.
But I know none of it will be possible if either of us go out.
Yeah. No, fuck no, dude. I'm gone, dude.
Yeah. Like Rigel says, I party till I'm homeless.
Party to homeless.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So
Till the wheels fall out.
yeah. Till it's sad.
Yeah. I know. Like, goddamn. So
I know.
pathetic.
Always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I do want to elaborate one more time. Like, I'm really grateful that, my brand got to introduce me to you. You know what I mean? Like, you're one of my really, really good friends, and I absolutely love and respect you so fucking much.
Thank you. I feel the same way.
Absolutely.
I feel like it was fate, like to be introduced to you and to like get to be a part of your life and what you do, and I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And for everybody, if you're not familiar with Summer's story, her first episode is number 5. It's available on Spotify, Apple, all the streaming platforms. And also, Summer's an amazing hairstylist. He's my barber too. So go check out her Instagram. Is Hair by Summer?
Hair by Summer Grace.
That's right. All right. Thank you, everybody. Fuck fentanyl. Bye.